Guys, welcome back to the best investing money management channel on YouTube. In today's video, I want to talk about the top 3 undervalued stock that you guys need to buy now. Right now, we are on the edge of a possible crash, right? The general market has sold off 18%. We are 2% away from a recession. And for me, I always go at it with the approach of, okay, that's buy as much as we can. This is all a short-term thing that will eventually recover, right? Over the past 90 years, through all the ups and downs of the market, we've always had growth over the long term. Whether you invested in 2007, right before the crash, or right before the 2020 crash, as long as you have a long-term outlook, this will pass. And this brings massive opportunity to find stocks that are undervalued. So starting off with stock number 1 is the one and only Apple. For me, Apple is a no-brainer. The stock sold off from as high as $180 all the way down to $137 a share. So for me, the first thing I look at is this thing is on some heavy support. It does have a tendency to get buying pressure near and around there. So as you notice, right, it comes in contact, hits that price, hits it again, and we just have natural tendency to see buying pressure. The second thing is it does have some old resistance. Now, old resistance has tendencies to act as new support. We established it right here, so for me, I definitely think this is a good time to start buying. We easily could see this thing continue to fall, but this is where I'm going to start buying as much as I can because I know it's very undervalued, it's near support, and it still carries a ton of potential, right? They hold hundreds of billions of dollars in cash. You guys are going to be getting paid 23 cents a quarter to have this stock, and the company brought in $97.2 billion. You can't argue with that amount of money. So for me, this is my number one choice that I would recommend you guys buy a couple of shares for sure. Stock number 2 is an absolute no-brainer. It's the one and only Visa. Now, Visa for me is a fantastic company, and the reason why I love it so much is because they have such a high profit margin. Their profit margin is just over 50%. So what that means is for every $100 Visa brings in, they profit over $50 per 100, which is crazy. So that means they can go through a hard time, and since their profit margin is so high, they can still make a decent amount of money. Looking at their past earnings here, you guys can see they still did very well. They beat their earnings, beat it on the EPS and the revenue side. And you can notice once they announced that, instead of getting a lot of buying pressure, they actually had more sell-off. The stock did pop up to $225, but just because of the general market selling off, we saw this thing get tanked underneath $200 a share. So for me, this is such a good pickup, and you guys are going to be getting paid 37 cents per quarter to hold this thing. So you're going to be getting a stock that brings in a ton of money, is very undervalued with previous good earnings and getting dividend, and carries a upward potential for the stock value. It's a no-brainer investment. Visa, it's a fintech company, it's a financial company, not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, the third and final stock, and I'm sure you guys guessed it, because I'm one of the biggest bulls with it. And I've been telling you guys to buy it for years now, but I'll tell you again. It's ticker symbol TSLA. It's Tesla. I know a lot of people love to say it's overvalued even at this point. I get it. But you can't argue with a couple of things. You can't argue that the company's been growing over 50 to 60% year over year. The company brought in $18 billion. They're continuing to hit delivery records. And yes, okay, they did shut down their Shanghai plant. But hey, that's all in the short term. Looking out 2 to 5 years or longer, Tesla's going to be back. And looking at their past earnings here, they did very, very well, given that a lot of people thought they were going to do really bad. And we did have an initial spike up, but just because of the general market, we saw this thing get tanked underneath $700 a share. So for me, anything under $800 per share for this stock, I'm going to try to buy as much as I can. Not to mention the average analyst price target for Tesla is $985. So what that means is even if we just say, okay, this thing's not going to be hitting highs at 1200. The worst comes to worst, it's going to be hitting these price targets, which is still a 38% return, which for me, that's a decent chunk of money. So for sure, let's buy as much as we can and hold it. So guys, those are the top 3 stocks that I am buying. They're very undervalued in my opinion, but overall, do your own research before you guys invest. But that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. We will see you guys later. And remember to stay happy, stay positive, and we'll see you guys later. Take care.